It's officially 2022, just a few days, and the real world, it still sucks, but gaming is actually looking pretty good this year. And this is just a list of my personal most anticipated games releasing in 2022. Before we begin the video, let me know yours in the comments section below. I'm always curious to hear what you guys are looking forward to playing. And it could be even a backlog of games that you have. I know that I'm going to be playing a lot of games I didn't get to over the last few years. My Steam library is definitely a little too backed up right now, so I got to get to those before I really jump into a lot of these new games. But with that being said, there are a lot of great games coming in 2022, and up first is LEGO Star Wars Skywalker Saga. Now, if you're like me, then you maybe grew up playing the LEGO games, Star Wars, Batman, Indiana Jones, Harry Potter, there's so many of them. And I always loved these games growing up, the goofy humor, the classic video game design, so when I heard of the new Skywalker Saga game releasing this year, it had me pretty excited. Unlike most of the LEGO games where you play through one linear story, the Skywalker Saga will allow us to play through 9 Star Wars movies in any order you want. Each episode will have 5 story missions, making a total of 45 separate missions, which is quite a bit of content. The gameplay is getting some neat additions and changes that will make for more types of combos and force moves. And I mean, come on guys, it's a LEGO game. These things are always awesome. I honestly couldn't be more excited for this one. It really looks like it'll have a lot of content, and it should be pretty fun to play through. I'll probably play with my wife. She and I like playing these kinds of games. The game will be releasing sometime in spring of 2022. Up next is Starfield, Bethesda's brand new IP, which is their first brand new IP in almost 25 years. Now the details on Starfield are relatively unknown to us right now, but I think it's safe to assume that it'll be very similar to Fallout or Elder Scrolls games in a variety of ways. Similar open world design, side quests, factions, maybe gameplay very similar to Fallout. That's at least what I'm expecting it to be. And the game is set in the far future, 2310 is the year, in an area 50 light years from the solar system. You kind of hop in right after the events of a colony war in which major factions fought each other. Todd Howard himself described the game as Skyrim in space, and the studio has been working on the game since the release of Fallout 4 in 2015. So I'm really hoping they can deliver on this RPG because it's been far too long since we got a good Bethesda game. And that will be coming on November 11th, 2022. 11/11/22. Next up is Pokemon Legends Arceus, or Arceus. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but this new Pokemon game will take place in the Sinnoh region, but long before it was known as the Sinnoh region we know from Diamond and Pearl. In the early days, it was known as the Hisui region, and the mythical Pokemon Arceus will be a major character or Pokemon in the story. It looks to be more of an open world styled Pokemon game, however the Pokemon company did officially claim back in October that the game is not open world, so it's likely to have a few separate locations and instances that make it a bit more of a tighter experience, rather than something completely open-ended. Other than that, we can assume that in most ways the game will be very similar to the Pokemon games that we're used to, just a bit more of a 3D third-person style. The game has been kind of criticized for its graphics, but I honestly could care less. Graphics don't make a good game. As long as it's fun, that's all I really care about. Pokemon Legends Arceus will be releasing in just a few weeks actually on January 28th, 2022. Next, we have the Dead Space remake. This is something I didn't expect, but I'm pretty happy to see because the first Dead Space game is one of my all-time favorite horror games. It's genuinely terrifying and tense with just a perfect setting. It's been reported that the success of EA's Jedi Fallen Order and Capcom's remakes of the Resident Evil 2 and 3 were what led EA to greenlight the decision to remake Dead Space, a game originally released all the way back in 2008. The game will retain the same story and structure of the original, but of course feature new assets, redesigns, character models, environment updates, things we would expect from a remake, especially of a game this old. But they actually have discussed adding in content that was originally cut from the game in 2008 due to hardware limitations, so if we see a few surprising additions, that'd be really cool. The game is releasing sometime late this year. Hogwarts Legacy is an action RPG set in the late 1800s following a student at Hogwarts. You'll be able to choose your Hogwarts house, attend classes at the school, explore open world locations like the Forbidden Forest and the Hogsmeade Village, and your character can learn all kinds of abilities and various spells, potions, tame beasts, and hone your combat abilities as a wizard or a witch. I'm really excited for this one. There was a canceled MMO Harry Potter game a few years back that I'm actually kind of sad about, so hopefully this will fill the void. This is a single player RPG. It's being developed on the Unreal Engine 5 engine and is set to release sometime in 2022. Horizon Forbidden West is a game that I've really been waiting for. After the surprise success of the first game, Horizon Zero Dawn, I finally gave the game a chance and played it for myself, and to my surprise, I absolutely loved it. The world was very intriguing to explore and very beautiful actually. The story was compelling and held my interest despite the sometimes goofy voice acting and lip syncing. The open world was a bit lacking in the first game. There were some very mediocre side quests and the characters you'd meet were just kinda not well written. But I'm hoping that with this larger budget and the scale of Forbidden West that we see improvements upon those areas that fell short in the first game. And what really made me love Zero Dawn was the combat and the amount of different ways you could take down these giant mech robots. The freedom to approach combat is one of the best I've seen in a video game. Sure, there were a few go-to strategies that did the job for almost any situation, but the creative ways were always much more fun. Here's hoping they deliver a great game on February 18th. And finally, a game that I'm anticipating the most this year, Elden Ring. What can I say that hasn't already been said about Elden Ring? It's basically open world Dark Souls with more magic and mounts, and the scale seems massive, and I can't actually believe the game's finally here. Ever since its original announcement, I have been eating up news surrounding the game every chance I can, because I'm a massive Dark Souls fan. If you've ever been a fan of Dark Souls games or any other Souls-likes, then I'm sure you're probably already going to pick this game up. The Souls-like genre is just like nothing else. The amount of satisfaction of mastering the combat and taking on the challenge never gets old, and it's what keeps many of us playing Souls-likes almost exclusively. They're addicting. Elden Ring looks to be blending everything we love about the Souls series and bake it into a more open-ended environment with possibly even more freedom than the Souls games already. Which will be tough considering gameplay freedom is what makes the Souls games so beloved right now. The amount of build crafting and things you can come up with for your character builds is immense, and hopefully they expand upon it here. I think they probably will. If you have not played a Souls game, I would highly recommend just picking up the first Dark Souls game and sinking your teeth into it before Elden Ring comes out. I think everybody should play through a Souls game at least once, and if it's not your thing, that's fine, but you should definitely do it for the sense of accomplishment and the experience. I think even if you don't go away loving it, you'll probably go away feeling something about it. This will likely be a once-in-a-lifetime game that I won't be missing out on day one, and the game is set to release 1 week after Horizon Forbidden West on the 18th, and will be releasing on the 25th of February. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed this one. Again, leave in the comments section what your top 5 or top however many games you're anticipating this year. There's a lot of good games coming out this year. There's plenty more that I didn't list here, but these are the ones I'm really looking forward to the most. Leave a like on the video if you did enjoy it. It really helps me out. We're getting close to 30,000 subscribers, and subscribe if you haven't already. And hopefully 2022 will be a good year in both the real world and in video games. But thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you all in the next one.